Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. A couple weeks ago I did a video of my home garage machine shop and I had a few people reach out independently. The VFD conversion I did on this Clausing 5902. So it's a very popular machine to have in your home garage. They're a bunch around. They hold up to the test of time, and it's a popular machine. So the whole 5900 series should be able to do the same parts that I used. The 4900 and the 6900 are probably a little bit different, but I'm sure you can get away with doing similar stuff. So I removed the clutch assembly from this REEVES drive because it lost the seal in the hydraulics cylinder. Anyway, so all I did was I removed this whole setup, whole assembly. I removed the REEVES pulley off of the motor. I raised the motor up to where this setup used to be, drilled a couple holes so that it would land in the slots of the adjustment. This is a Martin pulley from McMaster. I'll put the part number or something in the description. I actually 3D printed this, even though I have the metal one right there. So the reason I did this was so that I could use the stock belt. This belt originally went and spun off this, so it saved me like $100 for this. I do believe you could get a longer, shorter one if you wanted to avoid drilling this hole, but I didn't see that really being a problem. These spacers are just 3/4 inch aluminum bar stock I had kicking around. It offsets the motor forward so that the alignment up to the top pulley was, visually good. They are staggered with the holes in the bottom. So there's 2 bolts in the bottom that bolted to this bracket where the motor used to bolt, and then I offset it forward to bolt the motor in. So just 2 3/4 inch blocks. I think it's, if I recall, it's a 1/2 inch from the face to this front bolt, and then whatever motor spacing you have. I believe this is the original motor to this machine, so they should all be the same, I would think. But anyway, so I liked it. It lost, the only disadvantage is I lost the engagement clutch. So now the only thing I have is I hooked this up to turn it on and off, which powers the VFD. So I got forward and backwards right here, which I don't mind. I'm perfectly content with that. So the way I have the pulley ratio is the motor at 60 Hertz runs right about 1,000 RPM. You're really not supposed to double a motor's hertz from what I've read. So at 120 Hertz, it's at 1,950 RPM. The machine's only rated for 2,000 to begin with. I imagine you could get a little more out of it, but it's old, so I didn't want to push it. Bringing it down to 22 Hertz gets me to 365 RPM with my tack. It's supposed to be 360. That's a usable range that I'm content with. I have faced 40 or 50 thousandths off a piece of stainless at 30 Hertz, and it cut it no problem. I was a little worried about it losing some power, but it really hasn't been noticeable at all. I do still have the back gear. I haven't put the tack on it, but according to this, if I actually hit my numbers close, it should still go down to 50 and probably close to 300 with my full range on the VFD, which is great. There are some people that talk about just maxing the REEVES setup out, locking it out, and then controlling it with the VFD. The problem I see with that is that would put 60 Hertz at max RPM. So 60 Hertz would be roughly 2,000 RPM. So if you wanted to turn it down at all, if you were cutting anything with any sort of diameter or hardness, you'd lose all the power. And then you'd have the ability to go up 4,000 RPM if you turn the Hertz up. And I wouldn't spin the spindle that's 50 years old double its RPM limit. But I guess if you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment. I've done it. It's working. I'm using it. So I'd love to help some of you guys out and answer any questions so you guys can get moving with yours. Let me know.